Okay. Hi, y'all. Welcome to today's episode of Project Development with Staff. Shush phone. This one is going to be a little different. It will be covering my mod for Project Zomboid. I call the main mod Project Zomboid Gaia Edition. Which currently is just in the starting to get moving forward. As you can see, the number of actual systems is quite limited. This will change as I expand out the entire system. But like I said, it is very early, and I also am working to support both build 42 and build 41. As you can see, I just remembered it's there. Okay, so the first part is a dynamic system for installing and handling systems. It is based on my company's project development setup, as are all our projects, but for Lua it works a little bit different, and there's different systems. And some of this will look weird because part of it is looking to change the way types work. I don't like jumping between the dot and the semicolon. I come from a lot of C#. I do want to rebuild the entire Project Zomboid code using my setup. And some of these parts will be just in the whole system, like the full multiplayer support and single player. That way it runs no matter where it's at. It will involve a complete overhaul of all of Project Zomboid's Lua site. This will be so I can rework it, change how it functions, and things like that. This is less for you guys to understand, but it's telling me that I need to keep going with this system because it's gonna be a little more complicated on my side because have to ensure it installs in the right port. But after that, it shouldn't be as complicated because you guys won't have to deal with making sure things rolling and in a working state as it moves forward. But one goal is to overhaul how the reload mechanics work. For example, shotguns holding R will keep loading in rounds until it's either full or you let go. You need to shoot a zombie. Now you've done it. But for like pistol weapons, holding R will drop the magazine into your pocket and switch to another magazine. And with a simple tap, we'll just drop the mag. This is to change how like map icons and stuff. Specifically, the function how the B41 does it does extending out the skills that way you can have a more complex skill system that has skills can have parents working in a sub-skill gives experience for the skill chain up, if that makes sense. So climbing could have a parent of, say, physical exercise or survival skills, whichever, and it allows more complex interactions between skills because you can have, hey, if this skill and this skill are at a certain level, then this is possible. Sorry. You guys see anything? Hoping so. The ability to like climb ladders, trees, things like that. That way you could have more ways to move around, but it will be a complex setup with is dependent on skills. Like if strength is too low and your weight is too high, you have a chance of falling more, things like that. So it'll be a complex interaction between many different parts. In-depth recycling plans on extending out how things can be used. Say something is junk, but you could break it down into something that you could use later. And it will be tied into the skills and corpse processing, the ability to butcher zombies slash humans by either cutting them up or setting them in a campfire to get rid of them. Then context menus for liquid transfer, but I'm going to try to extend out the context menus so they function more naturally. So a lot of that will be up to people that play a lot to help me with by recommending changes to the context menu for either B41 or B42. That way things function slightly more effectively. I need to check something. I don't believe you can be able to see the stream, which would not be good. Okay, you can see what I'm. That's okay. So back to recipe changes. This will be a mixture of cardboard will come from recycling. I don't remember if tape in the game yet has uses. I plan to have uses for tape, so you have to keep finding more tape. I'll also add ways to create like your own tape. Camo, and this will be so you can have it for the mod. It would have the correct amount of rounds for the ammo size that you're using. And then you can scissors and the bladed weapon are so you can make cut the cardboard into the box, and the little holes. But I'll also have an empty version and then full version. And I'll see if I can also make it so it can handle intermediate, so you could pull how many ever rounds out of a box as you want. and leave the rest in the box. To me, that would be way more resource smart in the survival situation if you don't have your rounds just kind of dumped in your pocket. Then I plan on introducing new items like plastic scraps, cardboard, and then your different parts from processing humans. I might also extend that out so you can have the same type of things when you do uh, process other creatures that are currently in a game, like rat and stuff. This isn't a comprehensive list of skills. This is just a quick jot down. Currently, um, there will be like firearm handling, and firearm cleaning. That way, it can, firearms can get dirty, and if you don't take care of it, it will jam up on you. Um, that covers this part so far. So, probably go over. This allows systems to be registered and due to the way Zomboid works, I don't have to worry about a deregistering stage because everything just kind of gets deleted. Really weird. I looked for a part where it would dispose of memory, but it just kind of gets rid of it. Then I have this system which adds special functionality to specifically build objects at runtime, which is used will be used quite extensively to build up objects and things like because this system will end up working with this system. A, this builds types or objects specifically from types registered, and it uses this functionality to build the object based on the type it's registered. Then this system allows it so I can install one system and then register events so as other systems get added, the events will update the system with the new data or new functionality, allowing for this is not what it's gonna look like when done, because unfortunately there will be almost a copy of each of the first three that need to get loaded in to add better logging and build up the actual objects and things and convert them over to use type. So my system is a little more complicated. The average one, but that's because I really want to align everything to this setup before moving forward. That way we have a stable and expandable framework to move forward. So basically, if someone were to mod, use it, or build their mods using this system, they would interact a lot, pretty much just calls. This is already built very complexly to auto load all of when it needs to get loaded. And everything is kind of revolved around the Gaia. It started as a game early in library just to extend out Lua, but was building it in Zomboid and decided that I wanted to extend it out fully. And, so a lot of this you won't deal with directly because it will automatically, all you have to do is require this file and all of Gaia will self-load itself. There will be one for the client and the server alike, but they will both just extend out the shared, because this part gets put in both. So I'm going to try to minimize how much overlap there is by these will just extend out parts of the shared. That way it'll run the same no matter how it's done. That makes both anybody. So debugging is mostly to log messages so we can keep track of things. And yes, it will look quite different than a lot of mods, but that's just 15 years of self-taught C# programming mixed with self-taught programming across languages has kind of led to using the same base setup for each language, because I want things to be readable, I want things organized, I want things more easier to edit. Now, for me, what I call easy to edit probably won't match me, because this system might look like a wall of nothing to a lot of people that see it, but I will run you through that. So this part is to assign a specific field. Objects for this are designed like so, with a self, which can only be accessed by the given object itself, or as the system goes, it'll also be used for like subtypes and for subclasses and stuff. It will be a little weird because it doesn't have multi parts, but I'm kind of settling for an intermediate between C sharp and Lua. I want things a little less complicated just so as it is running in a game. Then you move into adding functions to objects, read-only properties, creation of an object, which I can show you right here, is used to build a given object with a type. If it's already got an instance, then it builds on top of that to make sure the given object applies the same rule. And we've got this basically turns Gaia object into an actual type project. And it makes sure things are still aligned correctly. And then this part is actually making this project node have that dynamic registration of systems. Then, like so. So we come in to show you after the object system. Like I said, this is more complicated because it is running differently, but for modders it won't be as complicated. You only have to deal with one part of Gaia, whereas my code has to deal with one part of Gaia and many other parts that have to coexist through different stages, building on top of each other. So we come in, for us, you won't have to worry about this. You can make a new project node. When I'm done, you'll just make a project node for yours. My mods extension mods for this one will probably just expand on these nodes. But it is recommended if you're not building from my company's side of view, you'll want to keep in mind it's better to work from a different node for you, just so you don't accidentally mess the inner workings up of this. Whereas there will be a separate project node for the game. All interactions with the game will be done through another project node, but they will all work together as a whole. So, and I'd show you more, but I'm still in the process of building up the core systems. So, thank you for viewing this episode of Project Development with Staff. I'll see you tomorrow, and I believe tomorrow we'll be covering the C# projects. The next episode, C# projects. But if you didn't understand some of this, you might check out the first two of the C#, and they will generally help you understand some of this a lot more than it will try. So, everyone, see you next time.